Listen, I'm back from vacation with an all-new show. Me, DJ Damage, and Blue are here. I'm sun-kissed brown. I don't want to hear any colorism claims because I'm darker. I'm not blackfishing. I'm actually black. There ain't no Danny Lay over here.
You darker than me
No.
now, man. I see you. I see you,
Oh,
bro.
that's
You
pushing
darker than
it. But
me.
yes, you are quite melanated, Jason Lee.
Listen, I'm doing my best. I was just recently in Aruba. I went to Miami for Floyd's birthday. Then we followed him over to Aruba. And I stayed a couple extra days because, people online are saying Stella got her groove back. And I'm sorry to say that bitch ain't got shit on Jason Lee. You know what I mean? Found me a little Venezuelan out there on the beach sipping my pina coladas. I didn't fall in love, but I was
Mm.
absolutely in lust for a couple days.
I saw your Instagram, Jason. You look like you were holding on to something. You were holding on to something.
Oh, no. Oh, I was holding on to a lot in that photo, and I was holding on to a lot in the shower too. But either way, I was holding on to a lot. I went out there and had a good time. I allowed myself to be open to having a vacation bay in the midst of COVID. I risked my life to allow my sexual needs and my sexual fantasies to be fed. And I have to say, I'm COVID free and I'm happy. That's what this glow is about.
Good for you, man. The thing that stood out to me about all this was you said you had a vacation bay. Is that something only men
Yeah.
do? Do women go and have vacation bays, Blue?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Ain't
Yes.
nothing wrong. Not wrong with a little vacation bay. You dip off, have a little something personal right there. I like that.
Oh,
I
we
had to
didn't dip
stop
off. We
myself.
did we didn't dip off. We dipped in. And I'm gonna tell you something. Okay? I'm gonna tell you how it all went down. These are the details that I don't tell anybody but the people who support the show. So the front desk guy of my hotel says to me, "How are you guys enjoying the island?" I said, "Well, I'm enjoying it alone. I wish that I had somebody here with me. Now that Little Spoon is out and I'm single and I'm lonely on this island with this blue water and the dolphins and flamingos in the background. I'm lonely." And he says, "I can help." And I'm like, "Really?"
Oh.
And so he actually sends me photos of different guys that I could choose from. And
Wait,
the
what?
first two,
What hotel was
yes,
this?
and
Hold
the
on for a second. I got a pen.
wait,
What hotel is
wait,
this?
listen,
What is it
listen,
called?
listen. The first two guys look like they, sing and snap and skip to Mariah Carey's Glitter. So they were out, right? But the third one that came through, he said, "This is all I got." I said, "Oh my God, I want to meet him right now." Now, I had to make sure there wasn't a fee attached because, I ain't playing them games. But I was able to meet the guy and we came and hung out on the beach. And he was very like, "I'm not fast. I'm, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "No, I'm not fast either. Like, I'm just lonely. Baby, we had a little too many drinks, a little too much 1942. Next thing I know, it was like the shower scene was there. Then we had dinner. Then we went to a club and smoked hookah and drank more 1942. And in the morning, he went to work and I came back to America. But nonetheless, it was such a good time. And I always tell my friend Sarah, because she won't give
Wait,
her
what?
pussy up to nobody. I'd be like, "Girl, go fuck somebody randomly one time. Be a hoe. It's okay to be a hoe to get your groove back." And so I gave myself permission to be a hoe, to get my groove back. And I am back.
I have
That
so many
was
questions. I have so many questions. Number one, the name of the hotel is what exactly? What is the name of this establishment?
See, that's how the girl selling all the cocaine in Florida got busted, telling up your plugs. Don't tell people your plugs. Keep your plugs private because people will come.
Jason, I might want to
And guess what?
go.
Girl, you better find your own resort. I don't know.
Oh, that's
so
stingy, Jason.
wait,
That's
so you said
stingy.
this wasn't an escort though, right? This dude just randomly had a collection of guys to offer you. What was that?
No,
Hmm.
he was not an escort. No, he was not. Actually, we had a lot of conversations. There was a lot of vetting, a lot of background checking
But that's
done
what I said. So
about us.
this person that had this plethora to offer you, how did he?
Hmm.
Anyway, it sounded like you had a good time, man.
No, he's
Those
just
are
a
real
straight guy that
questions.
knows a lot of gay men. I don't know.
Look, I'm just learning how the community works. I'm just asking. I don't know.
No, listen, it was a good time. In all seriousness, it was one of those things where I want to say a lot of people are so concerned about my weight loss. Everybody's had something to say. Some people Somebody called me fat the other day on Beagle. I said, wait, let me tell you something, bitch. First of all, your man is in the room and he would let me fuck him. So you may want to watch yourself because I got the resources to fuck your relationship up. He was like, my man wouldn't fuck you. I said, okay, hey, what's up, baby? He said, follow me. I said, see what I'm saying? It starts with a follow. You gonna fuck around and come for me for some beans, bitch, and then your man is gonna be laid up here in LA. But anyway, I digress. What I was saying was, a lot of people are consumed with my weight, right? So they're, oh, you're too fat. Now I'm too skinny. First you look unhealthy, now you look sick. I'm like, listen, I feel great. I am 212 pounds. I was 322 pounds when I started my weight loss journey. I feel like I've added years to my life. But you know what? You know, one thing I'll be honest about, I'm becoming more and more open to being vulnerable. And the one thing that I will say on my vacation that made me feel the greatest was when he wanted me to take a shower with him. I've told this story on Gagging and on Beagle, but he wanted me to take a shower with him. And, you know, back in the day, I may have been a little bit more insecure because I was heavier, not in shape. Now, my nipples are on Instagram. So I'm like, shit, fuck it. We got in the shower. It was amazing, but it felt good to be vulnerable and to and to love myself in the body that I'm in. And that's the message that I want to get out to everybody watching. Like, love the body that you're in. Make sure that the people that are touching on you, that are around you, that are in your life, whether they're friends or sexual partners or whatever, or a bay in another island, make sure that they are celebrating your body and that they're encouraging you to celebrate your body. Because the one thing he said to me when we were laid up on the beach, he was feeling my body. He was feeling my entire body.
Yes, I like this story. And then what happened?
He was feeling my entire body, and when he got to where my love handles were, he said, you feel so good." I said, "Thank you." He said, "You used to be fat." Now, mind you, I didn't get mad at him because that was his way. I mean, maybe that's how he talks in Venezuela. I don't know. But either way, I embraced the fact that he was giving me a compliment. It wasn't a backhanded compliment, but that he was, you know, giving me the reinforcement that I needed. And I'm telling you, having come out of relationships that may not have always been the best, I now know that I need somebody who's going to give me the love, affection, and the confidence that I need to be solid in my relationship. So it was a good experience.
I love that you mentioned the fact that part of you being vulnerable is being comfortable in your skin. I am a big proponent, I've talked about this before, about sexual healing. And I feel like a lot of times people can do the work, but until you can be booty ass naked with another human being and feel cute, you still got a way to go. And so people try to act like sex is just physical. I think sex is part of healing. For my own body positivity journey, when I was able to, you know, run around in the house naked, I was like, oh, I think I've arrived. And so I'm so happy that you've gotten to that place, Jason. Welcome to the family. I'm sure your neighbors are getting an eyeful through your windows as well as mine. But yeah, this is a sexy story. Feel free to tell us more escapades because
No,
I like hearing it.
you know, when you see the movie Stella Got Her Groove Back, of course we know the movie. We didn't know that she was also with somebody who was gay because that's a whole mess. But what I
Yeah.
learned in the experience was, you know, I'm really big on nurturing and being affectionate towards my partner and making them feel sexy and making them feel good. It felt good to have somebody do that to me, you know, and it felt
Hmm.
good to get it unsolicited, not because of the you know, public figure or the friends or the money, none of that. It was about none of that. And I said to him, I said, "You gonna let me snatch you off this island?" He said, "No, because I have a life here, but I want to see you again." I was like, "All right, good answer." So I see you, Danilo.
Oh, you
Anyhow,
giving out names? Oh, okay.
yeah, why not? Fuck it. You know, I've been posting a lot more on my Insta. I don't know if you saw of me just with men in general, because I never have done that, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell y'all why I did it. I think people think I'm doing it because I'm trying to show out. I'm doing it because for years I've survived under the veil of living a straight lifestyle and being around straight men and straight people and whatever. And I seem straight and I make people feel comfortable in my gayness because I'm not too extra. And what I realized in this journey of just staying to myself and really processing my life and where I'm at right now is that I have a responsibility to my community to make people be confronted with who I am. So you see me kissing a man, you see me holding a man, you see me with a man. You know, it's one thing to know that I'm gay and tolerate me, and it's another thing to see that I'm gay and accept me. And so I've been more open with who I am to my audience and to the world, not because I want to flaunt that all these sexy guys are in my life, because I've always had a sexy guy. Let's make no mistake about it. It's more about wanting to know that the people who are in my life totally embrace who I am as a person. And also to the people who are out there that are like me in my community, that they see you can be friends with anybody, you can travel the world, you can have money, you can have success, you can do it all and still be who you are. And so that's really why I've been posting. It's been less about the people and more about my community. And it feels really good to have people acknowledge that they're happy to see me living out my whole gay life. And I don't know. It's just where I'm at. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't even know
Yeah,
if that.
you seem
Yeah.
happy, and it feels like this is a journey of self love. I like it, man. I mean, honestly, regardless of how you got here, I think we all got to sit back and really love ourselves because we're our own worst critics, and the way we talk to ourselves, the way we see ourselves, sometimes is so negative. And I think it's powerful that you can be vulnerable with somebody and you feel comfortable showing your lifestyle. And this took you a long time to get here, and it just shows people we all got to put in that work, of course, with our careers, but also for ourselves. So that's major.
I think this is perfect. I think the journey that you're on is going to help a lot of people who aren't even speaking to you. You know how they always say there are people who are taking notes who do not want to tell you. So there are folks who you might
Hmm.
think hate you that are low key being inspired by you. This happens all the time, and I do think it's tied that the more you love yourself, the less it makes sense to have shame about your sexual orientation or who you love or what you're doing, because shame no longer makes sense for you in general, and a lot of people can learn from that because there's a lot of straight presenting LGBTQ plus people out there who get over on being the token. And you're like, no, I don't have to be gay light. I'll just be gay. And y'all gonna have to not tolerate it, but celebrate it, which is a very different bit of nuance that I love is happening for you. No more tolerance, Jason. Everybody's
Well, what
celebrating you now.
Well, one of the shows that I want to do at some point is I really want to unpack another topic because recently, something happened that really bothered me, and I haven't talked about it, but I do want to talk about it a little bit today. When I first became notable or whatever, and fans, in my DMs and stuff like that, I would have hookups with fans. You know what I mean? And people used to always tell me, "Be careful with these fans. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful." So I met a fan online and I went to meet up with him. And when I met him, he was just extremely feminine, not my type of guy, just not somebody I would ever give time of day to, whatever. And nice guy, whatever, but just a little too, I could tell he was a little messy and a little too queeny for me. And so I told him, I wasn't interested. And then he texted me, had a great time. It's about 3 years, texted me, had a great time. And then he followed up with, can I work with Hollywood Unlocked? I'm like, no, thank you. I have my team, not interested, whatever. And I haven't heard from this guy in 3 years. Tell me why he went to TikTok and said that I offered to fuck him. No, I offered to put him on Love and Hip Hop if he would let me fuck him. Now, I've been
Wow.
struggling with how to deal with this because on one hand, you don't want to talk about it because you don't want to fan the flames and you don't want to give life to some bullshit. But on the other hand, as a person who's using this platform for Raz B and other victims of sex assault and sex abuse, you want to, and also within the Me Too movement, having my own issues with how freely people can make allegations. I wanted to destroy him, and legally we are going to destroy him. Don't get me wrong, because I feel like the type of people he is that do this to people who don't have receipts like I do, that don't have the protections of making sure you're in public spaces and around people and that you're overly communicating or overly getting permission to touch or whatever. Those people lose everything, And so I had to call my attorneys and I said, I want to destroy this person. I want this, that. And she said, no, just get us all his information and we'll deal with it legally and whatever. But I say that to say, we're in a world right now where we're super PC, we're super afraid to engage with each other, we're overly hating on one another, we're under accepting of people's differences and uniqueness and the contributions that they bring to the world that make this a beautiful place to live in. We and in our culture, the cancel culture thing is just something that's very interesting. I know we're going to talk about Ti and Tiny today because that's very interesting too.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed for sure that I've learned is that over the years I've met different celebrities who have trust issues, and I didn't understand it because I'm like, I'm a good person. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we stay in touch or whatever? And now becoming a public person, I now see why. I see why. Because there are people out there who want to take from people because they want that easy come up and they want to take advantage of people. And, I think about over the years, why I don't show my relationships. It's easy to attach being gay with pedophilia. It's easy to attach dating younger with wanting to date a kid. How is it that if the guy I posted from Aruba, he's 26 years old, I'm 43. Clearly there's an age difference, but the comments in there drove me to a place where I wasn't even mad. I was literally studying it as a social experiment where I'm looking at the homophobia in the comments and I'm like, wow, all these people. There were a lot of people that, of course, celebrated me being happy, but there were a lot of people who were very, very, very homophobic. And it bothers me that I didn't take a stand a lot sooner at forcing people to embrace me being gay and being a better representative. And so, yeah, Damage, to your point, I'm going through my own journey right now where I don't even know where it's going. I do know that I do want to have a show at some point with gay men. I've met gay men online um, who represent straight but date trans women. I have met men online who've been molested by women and men. I'm just finding it fascinating how many complexities to this issue is out there. And I want to keep using my platform to explore them. And it's been an interesting experience, I won't lie. And they say you make it when this type of shit happens. So, baby, I guess I made it. But it's been an interesting couple weeks for sure.
Ooh, that's heavy. But Jason, to your point about you wish you had done it sooner, I actually don't wish you had done it sooner. You did it when you were ready, right? Because you had to have your own journey first before you could help anybody else. So I think the timing is actually perfect. I think a moment sooner might have been too soon for you. And now that you are in a space where you fully are grounded, now you can help other people, but you always have to help yourself first. So there's no shame in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, listen, it is what it is. It's another day here. I went to New York and wait, before I go to New York, Damaged Blue, what have you been up to?
Blue, what you been up to?
I lost a bet, so I have to have straight hair for 2 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, I thought you said you lost a bet, so you had to have sex with Damage. I was gonna say, well, damn.
No, I said straight hair, Jason.
That's
Straight
winning a
hair.
bet.
Straight. I swear to God, straight men are so. No, but I lost the bet, so I have to look like we call her Blue Kim. This is my. I feel very Blasian right now. My features look very dramatic when my curls are gone. But I've had a very interesting couple of weeks. I found out the person that I always thought would be the love of my life secretly got married. So that's been an interesting. Yeah, y'all, Mercury in
Wait,
retrograde sucked. So
wait.
yeah, I've been going
Wait,
through it.
person,
Um,
wait, wait. The person you were talking to got married to somebody else?
okay, so you know how we all have someone who we're like, yo, when I get my stuff together, we're probably gonna end up together. And so you kind of date other people because you're like, yo, the minute I get my stuff together, I'm coming back for you. We've had that dynamic for years, and I was getting lots of phone calls and messages and loving whatevers. And then in like around the holidays, they stopped. And so I was like, oh, it's the holidays, people are busy, whatever. And then right when Mercury in retrograde hit, I found out that this Bama had gotten married to somebody who hates me. So the love of my life is now married to my nemesis. That's been humbling. And so yeah, it's been it's been
Now,
let me tell you.
we have to talk about that though, because there's a lot of people in those on and off relationships.
Yeah.
The question is, at what point do you have to divulge the info about like, hey, I'm moving on? Because there's like this underlying pact between you, right? Like there was supposed to be some kind of heads up. You just don't get married.
Because that's kind of ghosting, right? Isn't that ghosting?
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing is? It made me realize though that I was also full of shit because I always talk about emotional intelligence because you always have to drag yourself first. I think I have been emotionally unavailable to everybody that I've ever dated because I had this backup plan. And so this is the first time in my entire adult life that I am dating without a backup. Like I'm dating like completely emotionally available. And it's weird for me because now there's certain things that I wouldn't take seriously. I'm like, oh, I don't have a backup. I probably should take that seriously. So if anything, this relationship was a crutch. And so yeah, I'm 4 weeks into my new life of having no backup, and it has been a
Wait, wait.
fascinating place to be.
I'm still trying to digest that he's married, not dating your enemy, but married to your enemy, which means while y'all were you guys sexually involved? Like, were y'all fucking or what?
Look, Jason, I know you just got to the place of being comfortable with your body, but I've always been very comfortable with my body. So I get touched a lot, and yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wait,
I have no problem being touched.
so you guys were sexually involved, which means that if he got married to your enemy, they were sexually involved at the same time.
So I've had a long month, guys, and but you know what though? Again, Jason, one thing we talked about your new life. When you have a new life, all your relationships also have to be new, right? Like even someone who's in your life for years, you have to renegotiate the terms of agreement. And so I don't think it's a coincidence that as I'm entering this new phase of life, every old thing that I had as a crutch or distraction is being taken away from me. So yeah, that has been what I've been up to. And I lost the bet. So now I'm walking around with straight hair and no boo, just reassessing
Yeah,
everything.
I'm not a fan of the Desperate Housewives hair at all. But
I hate
I
it.
understand you have to fulfill your bet. I need you to go get a picture of the enemy who took your man, so we can put them on the show at some
Oh,
point.
and can I say something about that too? I just since we're being petty, I'm feeling very like sharing today. So enjoy. I always find it interesting when men say that they're shallow. But I'm a cute girl, right? Like I'm not gonna pretend, even with the straight hair, I'm a very cute girl. If you are dating someone who facially is not as cute and is not as popping personality wise either, but is just like skinnier, you're not shallow, you're just fat phobic. So because shallow means she'd actually have to be pretty as well. So I just think that a lot of
Wait,
people
but you know
she
but
is
you know what though? I'm gonna tell you something.
shallow my ass.
I was on Bigo because that's my life now. If you want to find me, you gotta find me on Bigo. And we were having this whole conversation about whole body positivity and stuff. Men love
Right.
thick. Men love
No,
juicy.
yeah. Especially trainers. I get a lot of personal trainers and athletes. People who you would think would be
He traded in a juicy woman for a dog face, home wrecking ass, no edge having biatch.
she's easier to control. She's easier to control.
What to me is captivating that somebody was messing with your nemesis while messing with you. Like, what kind of dynamic was he getting? That's insane to be messing. It's one thing to mess with somebody you don't really like that, but like somebody you despise and then gets married to them. Like, what kind of intel? I don't know.
No offense, Damon. She's a Libra. You know how Libras are. We've discussed many a Libra on this show. There's no loyalty. So it is.
We looking bad out here.
Yeah, y'all between Nick Cannon and my ex Libra, y'all got some explaining to do. He's a very charming, very attractive man, and I wish him nothing. I don't want to say I wish him well because I do. I wish him nothing.
So the penis wasn't worth fighting for? I mean, was the
penis
no, it was the average?
No, it was stigmatizing, but it's not worth all this. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, I could take you to Home Depot and get a gas can and show you what I was going to do to that one nigga's house who tried to take mine.
Jason, let's talk offline when there's no evidence on camera. But yeah, that's what I've been up to, guys. I've just been, yeah, that's what I've been up to. Damage?
That was
so damage. Yeah. So damage corrected me. Yes, if she lost the bet, it would be a win. That wasn't shade. I don't want people to think because your fans go crazy for you in the comments. How they all want to have sex with you. These women range from 25 to 62. They all trying to get their back broke. What are you
62
doing, damage? Because you keep your business pretty low. I don't know
62. Wow.
what you're up to, but what are you doing?
Being a damn dad. Jason, you want to know what happened to me this past weekend since we're sharing, like, honest to God truth, the stress I've been having in my life? My son has not turned in 2 weeks of homework with this virtual learning. The kids need to go back to school. My son has been able to swindle the system. Mind you, all the stuff comes to my phone. He's able to, when the teacher returns and leaves a message, he responds first. He had everything on lockdown. So I'm thinking he's doing amazing. I'm buying him gifts every week. You're like, oh, you're really doing good. And the teacher had to like literally send me a personal email like, you have not been responding. Your son for 2 weeks. What's going on? And this is what kids don't get. when you don't do your work, you make me look crazy.
Yeah, you look bad.
Like
No,
kids forget
no,
that you're making me look bad.
They're gonna send DCFS to your house and do a welfare check in a minute.
And we're sitting there doing the work. He's just not turning it. It's like, so that's what I've been dealing with. I know it's not as crazy as what's going on with you, Blue, but that's definitely some Mercury and retrograde with that. So I've been stressing, trying to get my son back on track.
Well, the irony of that is he's probably a genius. Like he
Yes.
sounds like a bit of a genius, funny enough. So clearly he's smart. He just doesn't like school.
He's witty. But I know there's probably a lot of parents that watch this that's probably sitting at home while their kids are running around in circles. And they just like, when are they going back to school? And I want everybody to be safe, but we have to find something for this virtual learning because it's crazy.
Well, when you talk about Mercury in retrograde, I really didn't believe that was real, but I have to tell you, this past Mercury in retrograde, when I tell you all types of friendships were tested, I talked openly about me and Cardi's friendship tested. When you're real friends with somebody that you could really go through it and come through, and we had a great conversation. I refollowed her on Instagram. It was so petty person. No, but I know that people look at her as Cardi B, and I forget sometimes that she's, that she has the fan pages and trolls and people who want to see her unhappy. But I really do love that girl, and I do care about her. And I'm still proud of her and will always be proud of her. And we did have a couple conversations that were really good. And we both said, we both genuinely felt hurt, but as friends, and friends fight, and it probably was a little childish to me and petty to unfollow, because my thing about following people is less about proving that I don't like them or making people get in our business. It's just that, like, when I love somebody and I follow them, I get consumed with them, and I'm always checking on them. And sometimes when you want to take a break from it all, you just I take a step back. And so, I think people thought we were going to hate each other forever. And I don't think we ever hated each other. We just, we were friends. We are friends, and we had a disagreement. But nonetheless, I'm glad that we were both able to get on the phone and talk. She never unfollowed me, so I think she's the bigger person in this, and she actually won the fight ultimately. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad that everything is cool. And she's Cardi, she's dope. Now,
I knew this was gonna happen. I knew it.
That's good though.
Well, listen, you said she's a Libra. You know how you Libras could be. I blame I blame every zodiac sign besides Leos, Pisces, and Scorpios. Every other sign,
that's a bad list, Jason. That is literally the people who are the most to blame for most things.
You might as well add Libra in there.
That's a bad list.
Blue, you're a Gemini. You were created in hell. So
no. I'm a Taurus with a lot of Gemini in my chart. Just a lot of Gemini in my chart.
Okay,
but it's hiding behind the Taurus.
If you are anything with a Gemini, if the Gemini is circulating your sign, you're born in hell. And just please stay away.
I'm so fun.
I like Geminis.
I'm so fun, Jason. Yeah, we're fun. We're spicy.
Look
we're naughty.
No, Geminis are fun when they're on their medication.
Well, being a Taurus is my medication though. Like the Taurus pulls me back right before I get arrested. So I have like a self-policing thing.
A Taurus is bulls, right?
Yeah.
Taurus is the most sensual and stable sign of the entire zodiac. We just want to be touched and take care of people.
Isn't a Taurus a bull?
Yes, and a Leo is a lion. It was good. We in the thing together.
It's safe to say y'all be on some bullshit.
No, the funny thing is we attack bullshit. We attack bullshit. And
lions.
We see red.
And lions don't be lying. So let's just be
lions be lying.
No, lions don't lie. Lions pride themselves on honesty. Geminis and Capricorns lie. Capricorns, those bitches are pushing the cart with the Gemini in them to hell.
Jason, would you be open to me doing your chart? Because I could tell you like how you fuck, how you get mad, how you date. I could do your chart.
Keep your witchcraft, chicken bones, and fairy dust.
That's not witchcraft. It's astrology. I could do your chart, Jason.
All right. No, because I already know you're gonna come and try to sit Indian style with no shoes on in my house and turn the lights down low with all kinds of fucking strobe lights and shit. I
It
ain't got
would be
time for that.
healing for you.
I,
It would be so
no,
healing.
no, no. I don't even let bitches light incense in my house because I think it's some kind of witchcraft. So keep the incense the fuck
You
away from
would hate my apartment.
Yeah, you would hate my
me.
house. You would hate
It's
my
ins.
house.
No,
I
no,
am the
no,
king of
because
incense.
no damage. Listen, I like incense. I'll burn incense. I'd even go to your house to light incense. But I feel if I'm around Blue and she's lighting something, it's some kind of smoky thing to try to make it to where she can go and dig up a dead cat or some funny shit. And I just
No. Damage, tell him I'm very healing with my readings. Like, no, seriously, I give very healing readings. You're going to walk away feeling so much lighter.
if I want healing, I get that sexual feeling. You know that song.
It,
Yeah, I go.
it, it could help. I'm just saying, it could
I
help.
listen. I recently caught up with Tamar Braxton, and I was asking her about her relationship with her ex David Adefeso. They had this whole domestic violence restraining order that was filed, and it just got dismissed. And so the latest update about this case against Tamar, because he had filed against her, reveals that it's been thrown out. Now Tamar was recently on the show, and I asked her about this relationship after it was tumultuous. Remember, she had sent me the private message that I made public with the bruise on her arm or whatever. And so when I interviewed her, she kind of downplayed it, which I thought she was trying to protect him. Little did I know she was trying to get this damn thing dismissed. Okay, so this is a video from the interview. Take a look. So there was this picture right here that I want to ask you about. This photo was a bruise that I believe he put on your arm. Now I know I'm probably violating the friend code by talking about something publicly that I haven't asked permission for, but I want to make sure that because there are so many women that do look at you as a champion for many things. You overcome obstacles, you stand in your truth, you say it like you mean it, you show up with grace, you're a great mother, you're a great sister, and you're a strong Black woman. I want to make sure that when we stand with the hashtag protect Black women, that protecting Black men, although a priority, isn't in a way of sliding who you are to other women. So that bruise, he grabbed you on your arm, correct?
Okay, so it's a lot of variables as to why I can't give you a direct answer. Okay. That day in the car was a horrible day, and it was a lot of emotions. It was a lot happening, you know. And I'm not making excuses for him, but I'm talking about the experience that we both had with suicide, right? And how hard that was for both of us, and how difficult in that moment it was for the both of us to figure out what had just transpired in our relationship, in our friendship, in our family. And it was very, very hard. It was probably the worst argument I've ever been in my life, and I'm pretty sure that I can speak for him in that aspect. But I'm going to tell you that um, David and I was not in an emotionally nor physically abusive relationship. But I am going to say that that was the worst argument we've ever had in our lives.
Wow.
So, I mean, she didn't really confirm it, but she didn't deny it. And now that this restraining order has been dismissed and now she's out of that relationship completely, I mean, the thing that I want to know is why do so many women, you know, still seemingly protect a man when clearly he has fucking issues? I'll say allegedly, but I think he has issues, right? Why do women do that?
Well, she clearly loves him, you know what I mean? And also, too, whenever you're in an abusive situation, whether it's emotionally, physically, or sexually, if you love the person, you feel guilt about making them look bad in public. And so I feel like, regardless of what happened, she probably did some things that she wasn't proud of. And she probably has some guilt about how she showed up. Because if you listen to the clip, she said they both lost their way during that argument. And so she probably has some guilt about what she did as far as getting pulled into such a nasty argument. but also probably wants to protect him because she did love him at some point and probably still loves him. And so it's never fun as a woman, if you're a very nurturing person, to watch somebody that you care about get dragged in the court of public opinion. I have a lot of exes that we have words privately, but I would never want to drag them or bring their families into something nasty in public. So it's misdirected love and compassion. Unfortunately, a lot of us do that, myself included.
I mean, I can't
Yeah,
really
well, I
speak
mean,
to it, of course. Yeah, go.
no, go ahead, Damage.
No, I was going to say I really can't speak to why women stay or protect their abuser, but I wanted to ask you, Blue, just in your mind, how hard is it for people to walk away from these situations? Because thank God that she walked away.
Well, I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make is that we think that we, in sound mind and body, can speak to what somebody in her position would do. The thing that happens with abuse is you're groomed. So your reality is very slowly but surely distorted. And by the time you are in a flat out abusive relationship, you've already made all types of compromises that you normally wouldn't make. So the line of what's appropriate slowly but surely moves. And so if you've ever been in a relationship where you were like, yo, I was tripping in that relationship, why did I stay so long? Even if you weren't smacked across the mouth, you in that moment know exactly what it's like to be in a relationship that distorts your reality. And so a lot of times when you're in an abusive relationship, your mind is so warped, you can't think like your regular self.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I had a sister that was once in an abusive relationship. And I mean, I think I've talked about on this show. I mean, me and my brothers had to physically threaten him and do things in order to get her away from him. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that she's left and she's now with a man who loves her and, hasn't put hands on her. And, I just don't understand why people stay in those relationships. It's not just women, because men are also in abusive relationships. And I'm glad that, Tamar has found freedom from that situation. I asked her in the interview, would you ever go back to him? And she said, absolutely not. I really felt that. The other thing she said in the interview that a lot of people online are responding to was that she created the show The Real, with her ex-husband Vince and a couple other people in Telepictures. And baby, they're getting mad because I thought Lonnie Love created the show the way she be
No, we
acting.
all did. We all did. She went on the Breakfast Club and sold it and characterized it as if she had created that show. She was like, I was the first one they chose, X, Y, and Z. So Lonnie Love, if that's true, sis, you have some explaining to do, because I usually defend you, but you sold that totally different if Tamar really developed that show. That is messy boots.
You know what I need to do? I need to go get that Breakfast Club clip. I need to do a Johnny, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to create a clip where I just ask the question and I ask for a meeting with Lonnie Love. I need to meet with you, Lonnie. There are questions in the HR department. We need to understand who created the Real, because if you're being unreal with us, we're going to get real on Instagram. I need to know, did Tamar create the Real? Did Lonnie Love create the Real? Tamara, she's out trapped in the plantation with her husband. And then I don't know, Jeezy got Jeannie locked up, which I actually love them together. And I love Adrian. Adrian's been one person that has supported Hollywood a lot for a long time. And I love, what's the girl named Garcelle? Now, Garcelle, we know you got real with your ex-husband when you sent that email to all the agents saying that he had fucked some other woman behind your back. We know that you can keep it real, but I need you to bring a little bit more pizzazz. I need Amanda Seales back on the panel. I need Amanda Seales to walk in with her afro and say, bitch, it's Black History Month every motherfucking month. I need it to be real at the Real. Right now, I don't see the show lasting longer than 2 more years. Mark my words, the Real's going to get canceled because it's boring. But I do want to hear about Lonnie, because we've had Lunel here on the show and people keep pointing out that Lonnie is a bully. And I don't know. I've never met her. So I know I did. I met her when I was on the show, but I don't know her. And I want to hope and pray that Lonnie's not the bully people are painting her to be. But if she lied about creating the Real or gave the wrong intimation that she created the Real, baby, that ain't going to be good.
Hopefully she responds, because I even posted that clip because I was shocked by that. I hope that she clears it up and explains to us what's going on, because I usually defend you, sis, but I don't have any defense for this one. Sorry.
Well, let's walk through it. If she indeed did not create it, what happens? Like, what's going to happen?
Well, for years, she made it seem like she was like the backbone.
Well, I think the show has lost credibility over the years. With Tamar leaving, it started to lose credibility because you started to see cracks in the veil. Then when you've had this turnover of different hosts, And then people who have been guests of the show or people that have known Lonnie or close to Lonnie have come out and said things about her being a bully, or the characterization of her on the show isn't one of about, being girly, girls. And then she's actually come out and made it seem like she created the show and that she's like the pillar of the show. And so if that posturing has been improperly placed, I just think it continues to crack at the credibility. Look at what's happening with Ellen. People are talking about her show getting canceled after this next year. So I think it'll be problematic for the show for sure, because there's a lot of response online to the interview, specifically about that part with Tamar.
Amanda Seales was their last hope to make it spicy, and Amanda confirmed that the producers are a little bit racially insensitive. And I think once that happened, I think a lot of us checked out. I don't know anybody who's really been even Garcelle, who I love, my fellow Haitian sister. She's a Caribbean woman. She's very, very spicy. On the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she was a fan favorite for being spicy, which is why I think she got put on the Real. But whatever's happening on the Real neutered her as well. So what's going on where all these Black women with big, beautiful personalities come on the Real and then it turns into Get Out? That's not a coincidence. One time, maybe. Twice, maybe. But 3 times, this is the 3rd Black woman who's lost her light once she gets on that show. I smell smoke. Something's going on. Allegedly.
Well, I can tell you something else is going on. Is a big conversation. Another thing that came out of the interview with Tamar was, her sex abuse. She was molested and it came out on the show against her wishes. Also, we've had Razby on the show. And he's been open about his stuff. I emailed Tarana Burke. I've said that on the show, who created the Me Too movement. Tarana emailed me yesterday when I was getting off a plane that she's in touch with Raz and that they're helping him with his journey, because now I feel like he's finally going to get the vindication that he needs, having been allegedly abused for years by people close to him. Well, now, baby, Atlanta is on fire because Tiny and T.I. are both under fire again. Now 11 people have come forward with allegations that there's more to the kinky sex stuff going on in their Atlanta bedroom. And then they're saying that, they have attorney. This attorney now is representing them, saying that they are sex predators and they're facing new criminal charges. There's an investigation happening claiming that they allegedly drugged and raped or sexually assaulted 11 people. And they have this new attorney named Tyrone Blackburn. And so he's representing all of the accusers and seeking criminal inquiries into 2 states, Georgia and California. So I'm torn, right? I don't want to come on the show and at all make it seem like I believe that T.I. and Tiny are sex predators. But then on the other hand, because I know how easy it is for people to make allegations, on the other hand, 11 different people, similar stories.
And they don't know each other. They don't know each other at all. And I mean, Jason, to be fair, when we first talked about this, I said, hey guys, this makes me nervous. One of the reasons why I'm so nervous about this, it's not just that 11 people who have never met each other have surprisingly granular detail in common, right? That's already suspect. But if you look at the footage, the archive footage, Nicole Scherzinger, years ago, was caught on camera making comments about, ooh, T.I. and Tiny, be careful if they invite you over to the house. Even Wendy Williams recently said this week, she said, hey, I warned you guys about T.I. and Tiny before 2005 when I was on New York radio. So it's not like this came out of nowhere. Even Shekinah, who is friends with the couple, said, yeah, they did stuff, but it was consensual. So it's not even like they're saying they didn't do stuff. It's more so the conversation around consent with lots of other people.
That's the issue. That's the issue with what Shekinah said. If they do kinky shit, like, have I ever been to a sex party? Yes. Have I ever had group sex? Yes. Have I ever, you know what I mean? Have I had sex with somebody who was married or had a kid and a girl? Yes. So because I've been involved in situations that could be sticky, no pun intended, does that mean me being a freak or being a wild boy or a young boy in the game, does that mean that I'm a predator? Now, Shekinah kind of, she was speaking a little too much because, she kind of claimed
way too much
that maybe there were some drugs and maybe there was some kinky sex going on. But I don't think that she said that there were women who couldn't escape the compound.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there with the escape joke. I will say, Jason, no matter how, as somebody who's been very open, I have been to many a sex party. Shout out to my friends on the East Coast. But here's the thing, though. This is what separates us from this, Jason, is that we have not had 11 people allege that we threatened their families if we came forward. That is where it goes from being sex to being something predatory. Consensual sex is one thing, but when many people are saying that you are threatening their families, and when all the people who are speaking are people who have an inequitable power structure, folks who you know are easy prey, that's when it becomes predatory. And so I know this is alleged, but the circumstantial evidence for me as a journalist is concerning because they keep on sleeping with people who have inequitable power, which means that they know that they have leverage, and who all say that their families have been threatened in some way or they've been directly threatened in some way. That is not about sex. That is about power. Rape is never about
Yeah.
sex. Sexual assault is never about sex. That's about power. So sexually free people like us, we have nothing to do with whatever they're being accused of. It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I agree. This is a really difficult situation because at the same time, you just don't want to just believe allegations straight out. Honestly, personally, I just want justice to be served. So if this unfortunate situation is true with Tiny and Ti, then they need to deal with the repercussions. But also, if this is a lie, there needs to be repercussions on the other end too, because this person has a family, they're losing movie opportunities. And I just hope whatever happening here is the truth, either way. So it's hard for me to really speak on this situation. So many people are fans of Ti and people love Tiny, but like you said, that's 11 allegations, 11 different people. I really have to sit back and see this thing out and hope justice is served.
But this is why I think with the Me Too movement, there needs to be a Men Too movement, but there also needs to be consequences for people who make fake allegations. Now, I don't know that the allegations are fake, but the person I
Yeah, we
told you
don't
from
know.
TikTok, what I've said to my attorney is that not only are we going to go after him, but we're going to make an example out of him for people who make false claims. And the crazy part is his claim didn't even have a claim. It was just talking shit and talking reckless. But you have to be careful because, as you said, Damage, Ti is losing deals. He's losing stuff. Now, look, if they did what people are saying they did, drugging them, raping them, they should lose everything. They should lose it all. Now, I'll tell you the ironic thing that I found last night when I was talking about this on Gagging was that his show, his reality show, what's the name of the show? Family
Family
Hustle,
hustle.
which I love the show. The opening of the show is very similar to the Cosby Show, and Bill Cosby is accused of the same thing. Isn't that crazy?
I see what you're saying
Oh,
now. I see it
I,
now.
I will say this. I listened to a colleague of mine recently who said that years ago she made a statement that what scared her about Hyman Gate, for those of you who remember, it's when Deja Harris was embarrassed because of Ti talking about how he wanted to make sure her hymen was intact, is that she said that she knew a lot of people who had predatory parents who, when they had daughters, were hyper vigilant because they knew how dark it could get. And at the time, she got dragged. She's a very popular podcaster. I won't name her right now, but she got dragged at the time. And recently, she said, she's like, "Look, that wasn't me being inflammatory. It was me saying that as somebody who has some kind of insight into how predators act when they have their own families, he's shown many signs that have alarmed people who are in the know." So again, I'm not saying that Ti or Tiny or anybody has done what they're being alleged of, but I will say that the circumstantial evidence is mounting and it's all archived. It's not new stuff. It's all stuff that's been front and center for years and been talked about. But now that the allegations are concrete, it's all coming together and telling a story. It's the same thing that happened with Bill Cosby. It's the same thing that happened with R. Kelly. People who have power can create an ecosystem when even when folks are talking about you on camera, it takes years for all of it to come together. So we need to be really mindful that if all 11 are not abused and even one of them is abused, that's still bad, right? We always say, "Oh, somebody must be lying." So what?
Let me say this. Let me say this for the public figure perspective, right? People see us differently than we see them. I
True.
see everybody as regular. Like I see regular as regular. I see people who perceive to be irregular. I just see people. People who live regular lives see public figures as public figures, powerful, this and that, right? When I ask a man, like, "Can I touch you?" and they look at me crazy and they're like, "Why would you ask me a stupid question?" Bitch, because I want full consent. Why?
I love
I
that.
want to be very clear that you know what I'm asking for, that I know what I'm getting. And it may be weird, but this is a weird circumstance too, to be put into a situation where now you got motherfuckers saying that you did stuff to them. The other thing is, I've had a lot of guys want to hang around me because of who I am, the clout, the money, the whatever, the TV stuff. And so my intention when I see him is, you just a sexy guy I want to hang out with. Their intentions are, I'm gonna come up or I'm gonna hang out and have a good time or whatever. And so I've had guys want to get to know me, and then when you friend zone them or you're not interested, then they want to work for you. Then when they're not interested, then it's like,
Ew.
oh, you wanted me. Now they on Instagram and shit. And the bothersome part is, what's the alternative? Stay single forever, not meet anybody. That's why I say I think there has to be some really serious consequences. The only way to balance out the Me Too movement is to have really serious consequences for people who make claims and they are proven to be lying.
Yes,
I agree.
You know what
I
I mean?
agree wholeheartedly.
Completely
Like,
agree.
and with the T.I. situation, I'm not saying it's impossible for 11 people to come together and make up a story. But at the same time, whether it's true or not, whatever happens, justice just needs to be served. So if these people are lying, something needs to happen. You can't just. This is a man that has a whole family, daughters. This is conversations he has to have with people in his circle. And if these allegations are real, it needs to be handled accordingly. But if it's not, like you said, Jason, we got to figure out a plan of how to deal with people that are making up these allegations and just throwing things out there and ruining entire careers. It's happening left and right now.
It's
Now,
also unfair
Sabrina
to
Peterson.
victims too, by the way, guys. It's also unfair to victims. We have to point that out. It's not just about the person who's being accused. Every time somebody lies, it makes it harder for a real victim as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Now, Sabrina Peterson, the woman who claimed that T.I., put a gun to her head in front of her children and all that, is also now suing them. And she's been in touch with us here at the show. And I said, look, if Sabrina wants to have a conversation, I'll fly to the A. She could fly here, whatever. I want to talk, because I'm trying to get to the bottom of it all. Right now, there's allegations coming from one side. There's allegations being denied on the other. Now, T.I. and Tiny's attorney, Steve Siddall, he's denied everything. All the allegations, he said that they're all unsubstantiated and baseless and a sordid shakedown campaign. So he's also denied trying to make deals to silence alleged accusers. So we don't know what's happening around Atlanta and around the T.I. and Tiny household with all these people. But what I will say is that I hope that justice is served if it needs to be, but I also hope that accountability is put in place for those if these allegations are not true. Now, I will tell you something else that's happening as part of the whole Me Too movement is Governor Cuomo, who's one of the most popular people in this whole COVID thing, is now been caught on camera telling a reporter to, quote, eat the whole sausage after a second woman alleges sexual harassment. His brother, Chris Cuomo, who's also a person that reports on the news on CNN, he's refusing to even talk about it because he feels like it's baseless. Now, I'm going to come right out and say this is some bullshit. You told somebody to eat the whole sausage. If you follow me around with a camera, the jokes that I have said to people just joking are so inappropriate, because it's just, that's the way me and my friends are. That's the way that's just the way it is. That's the way niggas are. I'm not saying that, you cross the line that's been drawn in the sand from the Me Too movement, of course. But if he tells a person that he has a joking relationship with to eat the whole sausage, are we now going to ask him to recuse himself as governor of New York?
Okay, two things about that. Two things. Number one, again, abuse of power, right? If you are someone's boss, that's very different having your boss telling you to eat the whole sausage and your homeboy. So we have to talk about power structures. If somebody has power over you, jokes don't hit the same. That's why they have a whole HR manual about how not to joke with your boss. So that's the first thing, right? But the second thing is, Chris was on CNN and he said, look, CNN has done 8 exposés on my brother in the past 3 days alone. It's a conflict of interest for me to talk about it because I can't be objective. It's my brother. But my network is still going to drag him in the court of public opinion and go about this in the proper way. I just know that I have to recuse myself. So I actually think it's responsible of him, rather than pretend to be objective, to admit that he can't be objective and let his CNN colleagues do the work instead. The thing about Cuomo that makes me nervous is what's happened with COVID is for him what happened with Giuliani with 9/11, right? Everybody hated Giuliani. 9/11 happened and it helped him. And then he just kept talking. And then he ruined it. So I feel like everybody was falling in love with Cuomo during COVID. Like, oh my God, he's so good. And then he kept talking and he ruined it. So
creepy Cuomo.
Creepy Cuomo.
Well,
No, he's a creep.
I mean,
Look,
because he told somebody to eat a sausage. I'm not calling.
yeah,
No, he did more than that, Jason. He also asked
I'm
his
calling.
assistant, "Do you like old men? What's your sex life like?" while looking at her and winking at her, allegedly. That's not
Look,
a
We
joke.
weren't
Like,
there.
you can eat my
We weren't
sausage.
there. We weren't there.
Allegedly.
We live in a world where anybody can wake up any day and say anything. Thank God my work environment has cameras. Because let me tell you something, I trust my staff, but I don't even trust me sometimes. I want everything filmed, everything is out in the open, meaning I don't trust me in the sense that I'm very trusting with people. I will naturally just trust you. I will naturally be open and sharing with you. My staff have gone on vacation with me and my friends. Do you think me and 12 of my friends are sitting in a house every single day on vacation following an HR manual? No. We're fucking being guys
see,
and girls, some girls, on vacation in private islands or different places where we're having a good fucking time. You
but
think if I have a man come over to my house that I'm reading the HR manual on
But
whether
they
or
weren't
not
on
I
vacation,
hold them?
Jason. They weren't on vacation. They were in the office.
that's the thing. This is a
They were
work
on
environment. I mean,
vacation.
I've worked places where I've seen people in power say some old creepy shit to young lady over here, and I felt uncomfortable. And there's nothing really you can do about it unless you want it to interfere with your work. I mean, with your job. And even if it's not so bad, it's an uncomfortable position to be in because you really can't defend yourself. If you say the wrong thing, who knows? You might get fired or get more whatever work tomorrow. So it's kind of it's an unfair dynamic when these things happen. And those people know what they're doing when they do it.
And give yourself more
They know
credit,
what they're doing.
Jason. Like you even said, you have an environment where there's work stuff and there's a banter there, but then you guys go on vacation. That's a very different relationship than someone who's walking in and you are only my boss. We do not keep key. We don't go to happy hour. We have no personal relationship. And you're allegedly licking your lips and asking me, do I get down with older men? Like that's a very different thing from what you're doing. And also, too, for me as a woman, I have been sexually harassed up until 5 years ago, every job I ever had. I actually literally lost a job because I turned somebody down. And so I know personally, even at Home Depot, where you would think nobody has any power at Home Depot, my shift manager sexually harassed me, right? And now suddenly I'm working the graveyard shift while I'm going to school. So it happens all the time to
Well,
women
and
where
this is the thing. This is the thing. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. What I'm saying is, like, my work environment is saying that it's different. My work environment is my home, right? So
right,
my home is different than showing up at an office at the Capitol, right? It's a very different, it's a
exactly.
See?
relaxed environment. The entertainment industry is a different, more relaxed work environment than even a Home Depot or a Taco Bell. And so I want to find the solution to how we hold people accountable because I don't sleep with my employees. I don't date anybody who works for me anymore. I have in the past. I've been in a relationship with somebody, and then we start a business together. But I'm the CEO and they're the COO. Technically, they work for me. Technically, I'm the boss, and technically, I'm in a relationship with an employee. But as somebody who wants to be a strong advocate for kids, or strong advocate for the gay community, or strong advocate for equal rights, I find myself very afraid to in a climate where anybody could say anything at any time and you could be canceled and sued and lose it all, even if it's just public opinion because of an allegation. That's why
That's
I
No.
think to
fair.
balance the shit
Yeah.
out, you gotta have rules and laws to protect people who are wrongly accused. And those people who are accused and afraid to stand up for themselves, those motherfuckers got to grow some balls and go after a motherfucker because that's what I would do and that's what I plan to do if a motherfucker tries me. Because I don't even and the crazy part is the allegations that could be made against somebody who's been a victim of sex abuse. You know, I guess there's a whole a conversation that can be unpacked there where people who are abused end up abusing, or I don't know, keep the cycle. I don't know. It's too complicated for me. But I hope that
Yeah.
Governor Cuomo is not guilty because he has done a great job in leading his state through a international pandemic, a global pandemic, and I just pray that more honesty, more truth comes out because I don't know what to think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you can't even tell people to be careful who they're around because a lot of these cases are coming from years ago. So it's not like this is how they're moving every day, like, yo, you need to slow up. These are old situations a lot of the time that's getting people canceled and stuff. So I really don't know what to say about
The
it right
solution is to
now.
sue everybody. If anybody sees me on Hollywood Unlocked and wants to say a fake story, please know I will sue your ass. So that's the answer, Jason. If we make it inconvenient for people to embezzle us, then suddenly it gets a lot
But
sexier for people to do stuff. I would sue the
but
pants off of
sometimes
everybody.
I will say this at Hollywood Unlocked. I'm not going to get into details, but at Hollywood Unlocked, I've had to deal with as the CEO somebody being accused of sexual misconduct with people in the public, and I have taken action to remove that problem from my company.
Mhm.
And but I made sure to give the person fair process and look into everything and you know. Uh, Investigate and ask questions. I've even gotten on the phone with people and asked them questions and looked into things. And so once I made the conclusion that there was some wrongdoing, I took the appropriate action. And I do think that people who are taking advantage of their position or, caught up in themselves to the extent that they hurt other people, they should be taken all the way to the mat. But I do have empathy for people who are losing everything in a climate of an out of control
mhm.
movement that
Yep.
people have no guardrails for or no balancing. Another movement that is underway is the Golden Globes are getting drugged for filth for their lack of inclusion. My girl Tiffany Haddish, not only did she change her hair color, but she switched it up on motherfuckers because she was going to present, but at the same time in the car on the way there, called them out for a lack of inclusion. So the 2021 Golden Globes just happened, and the Hollywood Foreign Press Association they faced a lot of backlash over their lack of inclusion in their group. So apparently they were skipping over black performances and failing to place black films in the best picture category. But what people were really mad about is that the 87 people that govern, I guess, within that organization, uh, none of them are black. And so this is the photo that Tiffany posted on her Instagram while she was on her way. And it says the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, not a single black member out of 87. And she said, I'm about to present on the Golden Globes, but no black people out of all 87. Shaking my head. Y'all can do better. Hashtag times up globes. Now, I don't know if you guys watched the Golden Globes, but a lot of people were happy that so many black people won. That people in our culture lose sight of the fact that we are the hot sauce that show up and make everything hot, but we don't own the shit. That's what
Yep.
I've been talking about since day one when it comes to black journalism and working within or being on shows in these predominantly white managed or driven companies. I love Viacom because they create a lot of shows for us, but they just happen to be shows where we show up as baboons and we fight our way through scenes for no money. And so I would say that although I'm happy for Andrew Day, who I saw at R&B Live with Ed Sheeran coming up, being a very talented singer, she looks like Rihanna. I didn't like that rag on her head, but nonetheless, she's taking it off now, and
She's amazing. She's amazing.
she's amazing, right? I'm
Yeah.
happy for her. I'm happy for that they gave it to Black Panther. What's his Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick
I'm
Boseman, yeah.
happy. I'm happy that the Get Out guy won an award and the other guy from Return of the Jedi or whatever. I'm glad that they all won.
Judah
I
and the
like
Black
seeing black
Messiah,
people win.
yeah.
Baby, I don't watch movies, so I don't even know. I watched the Golden Girls. I'm glad that, and then and there was no black. They didn't even have no black friends. The issue that we have to deal with is that we can show up and win awards all day long. But if we don't have a seat at the table and we don't
Yep.
own the table, we're still fucking being used. So shout out to you, Tiffany, for having the courage to call these white people out on their shit when you were on the way to their shit.
That's how you do it because they need her.
I love how Tiffany looked,
They need.
like snatched. That picture, I gagged when I saw her. So she was beautiful while she was dragging them, which is the way you do it, sis. And I also think we have to also shout out people like Jane Fonda, who has been an ally before ally was a word. She got like this big award that evening and called bullshit. She was like, "Yeah, I'm a white woman winning this award, but you guys need to do better." And she shouted out shows like "I May Destroy You." If you guys haven't seen "I May Destroy You," it is single-handedly the most important show of all 2020. JC, you talked about sexual abuse. It actually talks about men being sexually abused as well as women. right? So it talks about gay men and women being sexually abused. It is unflinching. I've had men call me crying after watching the show. Most important show of all of last year. It was completely snubbed because a Black person came up with it. So I think the Golden Globes are full of crap, and everybody that I know in the industry quietly believes that. So shout out to Tiffany for finally calling it out, because it's a very, very badly kept secret that they're all just a cult of white people picking what they like.
Mm-hmm.
I
And I
said what I
like what you
said.
said. I like what you said. I'm tired of being a hot sauce, man. The things that just make everything hot, and pop when we're the meat and the potatoes. And at some point, we got to sit there and realize, like, the reason we're getting these winnings and everything, because they know we have Black Twitter, and they know we have platforms like Hollywood Unlocked where people are going to retweet and create these conversations that they cannot create on their own. And that's why winning, yes, of course, shout out to everybody that won and they deserved it, but we need to be in that boardroom because we need to start making change because they're using us. I think we're at a point where we're tired of being used. I think I can speak for everybody on Hollywood Unlocked. We're tired of being used. We need to be a part of making these things happen. We need to be a part of the machine. So I hear what you're saying, Jason.
And
Positions of
remember
power,
something.
guys. Positions of
And,
power.
and remember something. Just if you work with me, you may think you're using me, but believe me, I'm not only using you, but in the end, it won't look good because I'm not sleep. I'm woke as fuck, but I'm very
Mhm.
smart. I'm very strategic in how I move. I use everything for proof of concept, but at the end of the day, I know my value. I know the value that the three of us bring. I know the value of this platform. But let me be very clear, people. If I never win a Golden Globe, an Emmy, Oscar, Grammy, I don't give a fuck about none of that because the one thing I do own is this. And I own my voice, I own my intention, I own my final cut, I own what I'm going to sell it at, I own me. So I don't have to complain about not getting accolades. It would be great. But I feel like the more powerful you get, if all Black singers, actors, actresses, producers, directors, if all Black people in the entertainment industry decided to boycott an award show, nobody would watch.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Exactly.
would watch.
Yeah.
If Beyonce, Rihanna, if everybody that supported them did not show up, nobody would watch. But Black people are too afraid of not being included that they'd rather show up and whisper the dissension than to take a strong stand. I'm gonna tell you right now, they ever give me an Emmy award, that award speech will go down in history. Maybe my last one, but it'll go down in history because I understand the power of a platform. And when you build up your stage, you're supposed to stand on it as a king and a queen and not be afraid of losing anything because kings and queens never lose, right? And I know there's this whole thing we come from slaves. No, we come from king and queens. That's why we all have to start wearing our crowns in public and stop being afraid of people tilting them. I ain't afraid of nobody tilting my crown. But I want to say to Tiffany again, thank you so much for all the support that you give to Black media, that you give to conversations that are important to Black people. For
Yep.
you still live in your community. You still come on our show. You show the same love to us as you show to Ellen, and that I think is really it should be the highlight for a lot of other people who are Black celebrities in this industry to continue to show love to folks like us, help elevate us. Oprah, where you at? Show up. You know what I mean? But I also want to just shout out one more person. I'm wearing this sweater. This is a really affordable sweater from Fashion Nova Men. I wore this on my vacation when I was getting on the plane coming home. It was my first post with Fashion Nova as somebody that they've now hired to post for them. But I'll tell you, the thing I love about Fashion Nova is that they've been with Hollywood Unlocked from the beginning when we didn't have any value to really promote them, but I had relationships. They found a creative way of supporting my company and giving us money for us to help their company, and has been with me from the very beginning and even up to now. They support Hollywood Unlocked. I can't wait until they support this show. But I do want to say, me and Richard, who's a gazillionaire who owns Fashion Nova and Fashion Nova Man, we had a lot of conversations about our weight over the years, and he's more fit than I was, but now I think I'm more fit than him. But he saw the changes that I was making and wanted to support me. And so he's brought me on to Fashion Nova to post for them. And I remember posting on my Facebook that I was going to be a Fashion Nova model as a joke. And here I am now posting for them. So, I just want to say shout out to Richard and the whole Fashion Nova team for showing me love. Now, if you sponsor the show, you know, I was going to say something inappropriate, but I don't want to lose my deal. We'll really, really be grateful. But
Jason,
Blue
you want to
Dan,
hear something funny? You want to hear something really funny?
yeah.
Fashion Nova sent me a box of clothes for our promo shoot, and I never opened it until yesterday. And this is the first thing I've worn from Fashion Nova.
Oh, really?
So we're, 2 out of 3 of us are currently wearing Fashion Nova on camera because I didn't do laundry.
Let me tell you why they need to sponsor this show. Because number one, we don't want to wear any logos. So
Right.
that's one. The other thing is it is so affordable. And I ain't gonna lie, this tracksuit, I'm not even being paid for this right now. The tracksuit that I got that I wore in that picture from Aruba was so comfortable on the plane. I wore them with my Dior Converse or whatever those shoes are.
Oh.
And I looked expensive for the low. So fashionnovamen.com. I don't even know what my link is to go get a discount or whatever. It doesn't matter. But just thank you, Richard, and thank you to the Fashion Nova team for supporting us. I'm tired, so I'm about to go. Peace. All right, look, that was a great show. And make sure you keep coming back because we got all types of amazing interviews and topics that are going to make you go crazy.
That's right. That means like, subscribe, do everything you need to do to make sure you stay up to date with what we got going on.
And ladies, stay tuned in because you know I have your back.
And listen, make sure that you're commenting below because even though I say I don't read it on the show, that's all I do when it's over. Peace.